Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks Live. I'm getting dressed. No, I'm Roger Wakefield. Had to change shirts for a different video. Hope y'all are doing well today. If you've been here before, welcome back. Glad to have you here. Hope you come more often. We go live every day at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. And man, this is what we do. We talk trades. If you're new here, welcome to the show. Hang out for just a little bit. If you've got questions or comments, please jump in and put a Q in front of it. Love to hear from you, see what you've got to say. But man, we've been out having fun today, shooting some video for our big Milwaukee tool unboxing. Squirt, how are you?
Doing wonderful. Good morning, everybody. Henry Wakefield, also Randy, also Squirt, and then anything else this guy ends up calling me.
I would never.
You know, I do Leak Pro. We want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They let us get in here and talk Monday through Fridays at 10 a.m. Central Time. That way, no matter if you're East Coast or West Coast, you can tune in to the live or the replay during your lunch hour.
Absolutely.
And we want to thank Leak Pro again for sponsoring today's video. They build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And if you want to check out their equipment, or I do a 2-day in-person training to teach you leak detection, every part of it, check out our website at www.leak-pro.com. You can book me for a Zoom there, or if you want, just give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO.
Man, you about covered it. I'm out of here. You did good.
That's it.
Man, way to go. National news. Man.
Ooh.
I like this.
That's why I brought it. Hey.
I'm like, you know what? I call out scammy people. I don't mean that anywhere bad about the rat boys out in California or anything like that. But if you're scamming people, if you're BSing people, your butt needs to be held to the fire.
That's it. So the news today, a contractor ordered to repay $200,000 for fraudulent practices. Now, this is up in Montana.
Man.
Okay, and the contractor has been ordered to pay back $200K to customers after being caught in the fraudulent business practices, where he's been making them pay up front and not doing the work. One of the worst, in my opinion. I feel like that's even worse than going in there and just getting halfway through and then crapping out at the end. You know, like they're harping down on this more. So this is, you know
what? And I love the state of Texas that they come after you. That you'll end up on the news. You will end up on the news. Now see, that might be going to check to see if he's in the news. That could be fun.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
State regulators are using this case as an example of why verifying contractor licenses and contractors' credentials is very critical.
You know, I'm gonna give myself some homework. I'm gonna go back and check the rat boys and see if they've updated licenses. I mean,
It's been a little while.
it has. It's been a little while. They've had some time to get their stuff together.
Yeah.
And if not, and they're still showing plumbing, I'm going to contact the state of California and say, hey, what's the problem here?
Yeah, there you go.
Colton, we got a whole nother video, brother, right there. Okay, and this follows a national trend of increasing enforcement against fraudulent or unlicensed contractors. Texas will talk to people. They tell us all the time, look, if y'all got a rent house we can use, we'll come in and set up a sting. And they will, and I was telling somebody about this the other day. Matter of fact, Chris Miller, who's down here from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Because in Texas, we don't let the apprentices go out and do anything by themselves. We're not supposed to.
Yep.
Not anything that requires a license. I can have them do slab leak and leak detection.
Mm-hmm.
I can have them go through and listen for leaks. That's not penetrating the plumbing system at all. It's not doing anything at all.
Yep.
But making a company money.
That's it.
Because, man, these guys, some of these apprentices, I've had 2 apprentices, Kyle and Shay, that were just freaking amazing at it. And, man, good stuff.
If you've got patient apprentices, it's great.
And ones that want to learn.
That's
it. We talk all the time about the 10 things that require no skill. And being coachable is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And coming in with a positive attitude. And if you're in this trade and you come in with a positive attitude and you're willing to learn, you can make a fortune.
Big time.
It's so easy.
I was hungry, and when bosses see that you're hungry, especially for knowledge and information and being able to do more and add more to your skill set, the sky is definitely not the limit. You can go beyond.
All right. Go ahead. Keep going.
So the key to this, guys, is check your contractors. You know, if you are a contractor, make sure you're doing right. Okay. Like, don't have anybody pay everything up front. As a customer, you don't want to pay 100% up front because you want to make sure that that work does get completed. Now, sometimes some places do require, you know, a down payment, a deposit, and I understand that for large jobs especially. But the key here, reach that good agreement up front on payment terms and things like that to make sure that you don't get screwed over by the wrong contractors. And do your research. Check that contractor, read the reviews, things like that. Check your state and see if they're actually registered with the state, because there's a lot of sites out there that you can verify that to see if they're licensed to do what they're actually there to do.
And guys, look, Texas is really easy. You go to the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners website, search for a license, and see if they're real. And when you go to search for a license, you can search by company name or you can search by license number. So it's not hard to do. You can do that in just about every state, because we did it in California, Oregon. No, was it?
Yeah.
It was California. Was it Nevada and North Carolina, something like that?
Something like that. There were a few different states that we were looking up at the time. And you know, this isn't just plumbing. This is other contractors and stuff too. Every state has a lot of different boards and things like that that keep some tracks here.
And in Texas, for HVAC and electrical, you go to TDLR, the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation.
Oh, and I bet all these can be found on your state government page too, links to get to all of these subdivisions and branches.
Yeah, and what's really neat too is, like, if you're in Texas, at the bottom of your plumbing website, it's supposed to say, you know, overseen, or I don't remember the exact verbiage of it, but it is where they can see who is the regulatory committee, who's the AHJ, the authority having jurisdiction. I'm like, man,
I got him.
I'm trying to
Y'all
think of a
see
whole
that?
bunch of things at once.
Clip that, okay?
Y'all
Got
better,
him.
y'all better write that down. David Briarworth, happy Thursday to you.
Yep.
Happy
Good
Thirsty
morning.
Thursday. Have a margarita tonight.
There you go.
Get to have a margarita tonight. Okay, so that's cool. Now, we're going to bring up one of my favorite websites, PHCC, the Plumbing, Heating, Cooling Contractors Association. And look, I love PHCC. I started talking to PHCC back when Hunter Botto was there. He came down, helped Texas fight for our plumbing license, brought other PHCC members with him. I love doing things with PHCC. They're a great organization. Their training facilities are amazing. The people that they have involved, these are people that want to grow. Tell me why you picked PHCC, besides the fact that you know I like it. Just so
everybody does know, PHCC is the Plumbing, Heating, Cooling Contractors Association. Honestly, one of the big reasons I threw this out, a lot of people are always asking, how do I get in a trade? How do I find an apprenticeship near me? PHCC is a good resource for things like this. You can actually find the PHCC that's over your state, get in contact with them, and you can find some apprentice programs that are near your area, things like this. This is a big question that we always get hit with. So it's like, here's some places that you can go to find things like this.
And here's where this is really good, because we talk all the time about, if you go through the union training program, you can get your journeyman in 4 years, and then in one more year, you can get your master's. Well, it just so happens PHCC is a Department of Labor approved training program too. So I know a plumber that literally had his own company. And when I talked to him about how long he'd been doing it, he told me, and I'm like, wait, how are you already a master plumber? He said, well, when I was apprentice, I signed my company up for PHCC. So he had to start his company before he was even working.
Yep.
Went through their training program, paid all the dues, paid all the fees to become a member and all that, which they're really not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And he went through their apprentice training program. That way he could get his master license 3 years sooner.
Quicker.
And when you think about how much money you can make as a plumbing company in Texas in 3 years, very wise investment.
That's it. But their site offers a vast library of training materials, including the apprenticeship programs and certification courses. You need stuff to add on to your license. Their certification programs out there, you can find them, and this is a good resource to be able to find them near you.
Man, this is good stuff. And advocates for legislation that benefits the plumbing and HVAC industries. Like I said, they came to Texas to help us fight for our license, including licensing and energy efficiency policies. Now, most people don't even know that there's politics in plumbing. I hate to say it, there's politics in plumbing, electrical work, HVAC work, and most plumbers. Now, I've been down to the Capitol. I fought for the plumbing license. I've had conversations with senators and representatives about the plumbing license, arguing with the Sunset Committee. Guys, there's a handful of plumbers that show up to fight for y'all. But PHCC is always there. The union's always there. If you want to get your voice heard, you need to show up. And it's funny because I remember when we were fighting for our license, after it was all done, we had a meeting over at one of the big plumbing companies here, and they had one of the state representatives come in, and he got up there and he's like, man, look, I want y'all to know I was down there fighting for y'all. I was on the floor fighting for y'all. And I said, yeah, I got a question. He said, okay, go right ahead. I said, so you voted for us to keep the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners? And he said, no, I voted for y'all to go under TDLR. I'm like, how many people in here wanted us to move to TDLR? And like nobody raised their hand. I said, don't say you're fighting for us. Tell us what you did and let us tell you, no, you didn't.
Yep.
And man, I just don't like people like that. Yeah, I'm fighting for you.
Politics, baby.
That's what it all is. All right, business growth, investing in employee development. We talk about training, education, knowledge,
bettering yourself.
Better your employees, but better yourself. And I think it's Jim Collins in the book Good to Great makes a comment, says, well, what if I train my people and they leave? It's like, well, what if you don't train them and they stay with you forever?
All right.
Guys, if that doesn't just make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, it's like, and I want to go even further with that. If you're working for a company that does not believe in training, you're not learning new things.
That's it. And the company's not getting any better either. And that's where I see the big problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key to all this, because if you train your employees better, that's just going to make you better naturally, because everybody's coming up. Well, you're going to have to learn new things to teach. So you're going to keep learning as the crew progresses also. So don't slack on this.
Look, providing training improves worker retention. It's going to make them stay with you longer. It's going to improve productivity because hopefully they're going to learn and get better.
Yep. Increases team morale. Like everybody, let's take a plumbing company, small service company. Everybody goes out on all their jobs for the day. Oh, but then we come back and we do 30 minutes of training every day as a full team together. That's going to help each other. And then whenever you've got to send some together to help somebody out or something, guess what? They made that relationship together. They've learned together, so they know how each other think, which only speeds up the process they went to do.
Man, that's just good stuff. Training new technologies like smart home systems, energy efficient HVAC, leak detection, whole house water filtration. Speaks Plumbing, we went out there the other day. They're installing a Halo water system, which we love Halo. But the cool thing about it is that we went out, watched some video. Grant called me and said, hey, man, I'm thinking about doing water filtration. You talk about this Halo product. Is it any good? And we had a great conversation. Hooked him up with Glenn Blavet, the owner. And he's like, man, I love this. Mr. Miyagi of Plumbing and Squirt, what's up, brothers? Training is the way to stay better at your skilled trade. Man, not just stay better, keep freaking improving. You can stay the best, But when you're learning new things and you're bettering yourself, you're bettering your company, you're bettering the people around you. I mean, man, some of these tools that I just unloaded a while ago, I want to get out there and play with them. It's like, okay, this is neat. But training people how to do new things.
Yeah.
If your company's not doing slab leak detection, if your company's not doing whole house water filtration, if it's not doing solar, if you own an electrical company and you're not installing car chargers, I'm like, what?
Yep.
What do you got to tell people? Look, we can tell you how to make more money. We can't just get out there and do it for you, though.
That's it. You've got to be hungry. You've got to be wanting to take that next step up, learn that next thing. Guys, electric vehicles, I hate to say it because I love my
Gas burning
truck. Electric's going to end up taking everything over. That's just where everything's headed. Not necessarily going to be a bad thing either, because they're going to end up self-driving, things like that, and we're just not going to have to deal with any
I'm
of
waiting for the
We'll be able to
self-driving
work.
electric vehicle that has a bed in the back.
It'll be coming, I guarantee it.
what I
You
want.
know, like,
That's what I want.
for sure.
Okay, so great ways to train your people. Number one, offer mentorship. And we used to do a deal at Brant, and Beard did it too, where they had champions. Okay, this is the champion of this system. So if you took on something new to your company, like Go High Level, and if you want to learn more about that, go check out Roger's Marketing Machine. It does stuff for you. But Kim has jumped in and been like, look, I'm learning how to do all this. I'm learning how to put all this together, learn how to tie it together, learn how to make it work. Amber, Elizabeth, I mean, Colton, everybody's jumping in and not leaving Alex out or anything like that. But these are the ones that I know that are jumping in and saying, hey, we're putting stuff in here. We're doing stuff here. Alex edits everything. So we know it all works. But tuition, reimbursement. You know, we used to
That's a
take
big one.
people out of town once a year for a big conference.
One of the citywide mechanical.
You
Okay,
bet.
first place you
Very
worked,
first
first place
pla-
I
very-
worked.
very
As
first
funny as
company I
it
ever
is,
worked
like
for.
major company. That was before I was in the
was
union.
a few years later than me.
It sure was. It was right before the union. There was a list to get in, so I was waiting. So I hired on at Citywide. Well, then they knew I was leaving for the union. They're offering everything.
Oh, God.
Tuition reimbursement was one of the first things. They're like, "Look, we'll put you in school. We'll pay for your school. You want to learn? Hey, we'll do it."
Yeah.
That's how your company has to be to keep people. Now, my dad was already in the union. My mind was already set where I was headed. It was already planned before I ever stepped foot into that place.
Okay, so before we move on, are you glad you went the way you did?
I am, honestly, just because the different experiences I got to do being a union worker that way, working at Texas Instruments, learning chemicals, orbital welding, things I would have never learned at
Open shop.
Citywide
Right.
Mechanical necessarily.
And Citywide was a great company.
So,
I
they were a
enjoyed
great
working
company.
there.
Like, I enjoyed my time there. I was probably there 6-8 months, and actually worked with one of your buddies from high school. They loved having me. But I was a go-getter. I was hungry, and I wanted to get things done.
I like this. Matt McDonough says you can't be the best unless you improve.
For sure,
You may be the best right now,
it'll fade quick.
but if you just set on that and say, like, look, I'm the best. I don't have to learn nothing else.
Yep.
People are going to pass you up.
Hmm.
Mr. Gibney, what's going on, brother? Good
brother.
to see you in here. Hope everything is going well with you.
Oh yeah, and then Matt, we fly in at 7 a.m. next Wednesday, and
Oh, did you not reach back out to him? I
Vegas
thought you were going
Airport. I'd looked it
Okay.
up, and we got
Right.
busy.
Hey,
We're
yeah, we'll be there early.
gonna go live. It's gonna be fun.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Service work. Enhancing the customer communication. And before we get going here, I got to talk about Go High Level, because we have a CRM to where we can text message customers, we can email customers, we can still pick up the phone and call them, but we can automate our communication with the customer. And I was talking again, Chris Miller the other day, about Go High Level and how I would use it if I owned a plumbing company today. And he says, Roger, look, I don't know whether to hire a great technician plumber or a plumber that's a great salesperson and communicator. And I said, look, I think I'd hire the great technician.
Right.
And then you learn to communicate, or have him, look, once he gets his estimates together, send it to the customer. Now you've sent it as a text, as a email or something like that. And now all he's got to do is talk to him. and say, hey, look, I sent you the options. Just we can talk about which way you'd like to go. But you can take communication pretty much out of the plumber's hands. You can have it where it automatically texts them a picture of Squirt and say, hey, Squirt's on the way. Squirt has 20 years experience in plumbing and pipe fitting industry. He's a father, has a puppy dog, and helps design Leak Pro training. And now they get it and they read it and they know a little bit about him. Well, now when he shows up, they're like, wow, okay, you're Squirt. Got a picture of you. I know it's you.
Yep.
Makes people feel comfortable.
That's it.
You could even have a picture of his background check that he passed, that his drug test that he passed or failed. And
Whichever way.
it slipped, whichever way it could go. I mean, nothing by that. But I mean, the neat thing about it is you can communicate with your customers before your plumber ever gets there.
Yep.
And make them feel comfortable.
And if you do that, they're calling you back.
Absolutely. So clear and professional communication reduces misunderstandings and increases customer satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks to be on a job and run into a bigger problem, and you've got to call that customer at work and say, look, man, we ran into something was unforeseen. We couldn't see it until we opened up the wall. Amber was so good about reaching out to those customers and saying, look, I've got to go ahead. I want to go ahead and reach out. We've ran into a problem at home. We don't know how big it is right now. We don't know how bad it is, but the plumbers are there. They're working on it. They're talking about it and doing this and doing this. So to me, man, that's just great stuff, because I'd come to the customer. I'd see the customer and say, man, look, I got to talk to you. And they're like, oh no, Amber's already let us know. Like, oh my God, thank you.
Well, it's my favorite, like here when we talk about, oh, how long is that going to take? It's like, guys, this is service that we're stepping into. There's no telling until we actually open it up and figure out what's under there for sure. So small things can turn into big things. Be very communicative with your customers and clear on what's going on.
It helps improve the quality of the service you give them.
Yep.
And like I said, if you want to learn more about it, if you've got a company or you work for a company that needs better communication, go check out Rogers Marketing Machine. It's fantastic. But a strong communications strategy helps prevent disputes and improves word of mouth marketing.
Big time.
There's nothing better to hear than a customer say, oh my God, we used you because Miss Johnson used you. And she was like, oh my gosh, y'all talked to her continuously and kept her up to date as to what was going on. And she was so happy. So things like that are great. Now we're going to roll into materials, equipment, and tools. I love that we're talking tools because I opened a bunch. Training employees on new tools. And we're going to have a training because we've got some new tools.
We've got some new tools for sure. We're going to have to teach all these editors and stuff how to use them.
I kind of like that idea, but I don't think that's going to happen.
But no, there's new gizmos and gadgets out there that do all sorts of different things. And we are going to have to go through and do some learning on it and training to figure out the right, proper ways to use it.
We just shot we're shooting.
In the middle of.
Still in the middle
Yep.
of a video. A nice video where we are unboxing great plumbing and mechanical tools that provide solutions in the field.
Yeah.
Man, I like this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So talking about new tools, keeping workers updated. Fantastic. The latest tools and techniques, because a lot of times it's not just tools. There's new tools, materials, equipment, and technology every day. So new technology like battery-powered tools. Guys, I got some battery-powered tools out there that most people don't even know there's a battery-powered tool
Option.
to fill that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've carried a big old machine around for years that had a big old power cord on it because it had a motor. And man, we got batteries now that'll run this thing for, gotta figure out how long it is. I think it goes most of the day.
That's what I felt like.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to do a little research on that. Find out. Yep.
You know what we need to build too? We need to build a big battery charging board.
Station.
Yep. Just,
Oh.
I mean, I know.
We need a toolbox.
We need another toolbox.
A battery toolbox.
How many
Isn't that
toolboxes do
funny?
we have? Okay, proper training on expensive equipment prevents misuse and extends the tool's lifespan. That is big. Many manufacturers offer free training resources on their latest tools. Guys, you can go to just about any tool manufacturer's website and get trained on any tool they have.
Yes. One of my favorites is hitting up the trade shows, guys, because then you actually talk to that manufacturer. Most of them will let you put your hands on the tool and operate it, press, do whatever that tool does. They'll pretty much let you do it at a trade show most of the time. Not everything, we know. Some tools are just too big for everybody to use there.
But man,
But you can get it direct from that manufacturer. And like, that's one of my favorites is at trade shows to hit up all the new tools and learn.
and look, there's great stuff. I know Milwaukee Tools offers on-site training for new battery-powered heavy-duty tools. When I had the plumbing company, we had Milwaukee come out and demonstrate the cameras, demonstrate the sewer machines on the backpack and all that. I mean, man, we've done some really cool stuff. But helping companies transition from gas-powered options. I got to tell you, I don't know if you can tell, I love Milwaukee. I bleed red. I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. And like my favorite, hit their websites. Whatever tool you've got, hit their website. See if they have a training on their site.
Oh, not see if they do, just find it.
Find it, because it's going to be there.
Yeah.
There's going to be something there, some demonstration of them using it and the proper ways to use it. That's going to do safety. It's going to increase efficiency on the job, things like that.
All right. And Matt, we see your information right there, brother. We land at 7.
We land at 7.
Oh, but Matt, we've got to go live at 8.
Yeah, we go live within an hour.
Yeah,
like we got a deplane and then set up in the airport somewhere to go live.
Yeah,
by
so we're gonna have fun because even though we're traveling, we will be going live.
That's right.
Hopefully, each and every day. That's what we're planning on.
What we try for.
That's what we try for. Absolutely. All right. Let me see where we're at. I know right where we're at.
I do too.
You know where we're at. Where are we at?
And I'm Henry Wakefield with League Pro. We do want to thank League Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They let us come in here and talk trades for an hour every day at 10 a.m. Central Time. That way, if you're on the East Coast, you can catch us live during your lunch break. If you're on the West Coast, you can catch the replay every day. Where we come in here, we talk trades, we talk all different aspects of it. But Leak Pro is the manufacturer of the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. It's simple, it's easy to use. You've got your equipment, one wire to your headphones. The only adjustment on the whole thing is a volume knob, and that's it. On, off, push button activation. I build 2 different pieces of equipment. The probe, that's for your outdoor, underground, normal stuff from that meter to the home service. When you go inside, though, you're going to want my Sidekick. It's pistol grip style with an aluminum rod on it. That aluminum rod's a less dense metal, so it kind of eliminates the layer of concrete whenever you're listening for a slab leak. To check out the equipment, you can visit the website at www.leak-pro.com. But also, if you don't know anything about leak detection, I offer a 2-day in-person training here just outside of Dallas, Texas. I teach you how to locate lines. I've got 11 leaks under a slab to train you on, 1 outside of the slab, so you know what that sounds like also. But then I also have a couple of sewer systems set up. I've got a cast iron and a PVC system where I teach you to, from the double clean out outside of a home, you can isolate branch lines under, on that sewer lines under a home to determine exactly which sewer line's leaking. So it's not just, I got to replace the whole system. If you want to talk about the training, give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. And once again, if you want to check out the website and kind of browse through some things, it's www.leak-pro.com.
Now, training plumbers, because you're not a plumber. You've done plumbing.
Plumbing apprentice for years, decades.
Many years. Is yours still current?
I'll have to look at it again.
Probably not.
I know, we're getting a few months in. It may have gone out last month.
So, my thought is, you teach plumbers how to isolate sewer lines with test balls, hoses, and a camera.
Yep.
And this is something most of them, when you first tell them about it, they're like, yeah, you can't do that.
Yep.
But we can.
Sure can.
We're good at it. I'm just telling you guys. First time I told Squirt about it, he's like, yeah, that's not going to work. It's like, no, it is. He's like, you're not going to be able to make that test ball go in and turn that way. It's like, yes, I can. He's like, Dad, I'm just telling you, it can't be done. What did it take first time? Maybe 5 minutes when I was showing you?
5 or 10, yeah. I think you had to replace it once.
Remove,
We had to remove
all
and
my stuff.
readjust
Okay.
once. Yeah,
So,
so like 10 minutes.
guys, look, this is something that if you don't know how to do, you provide a whole nother level of value to your customer. Because there's a lot of plumbing companies out there that are like, look, we tested it, leaks, we need to replace everything. And guys, that's just not necessarily true.
That's it.
Matter of fact, very seldom is it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, and then there's a lot of plumbers though that say, hey, look, you got a leak over here. Chances are you've got multiple leaks throughout your house. We just need to change it all. Well, guys, the price to fix that one leak may be 10 grand. Price to replace everything under the house may be 120 grand. Which way would you want to go if you're the homeowner? I just love to give them options. So, MEP, Sustainable Plumbing and Electrical Solutions for Green Buildings. Now, I am a lead AP. I used to be a member of Green Plumbers USA. I think they were a great organization. I think they've kind of faded and disappeared. But, man, to learn about water, to learn about rainwater harvesting, to learn about why we need to control water the way we do, all the different tools out there for it, ultra high efficiency toilets. And there's so many good things, but the demand for energy efficient plumbing is becoming more and more popular. Demand for the electrical. Guys, if you haven't driven down a neighborhood and seen solar panels and asked yourself, gee, why aren't we installing them? It's crazy because it's growing in both residential and commercial.
Yes.
We both worked at Brant. I helped build the new building at Brant. Rainwater harvesting, graywater reclamation. It's like, look, guys, this is a lead project. And when you're one of the biggest mechanical contractors at the time in the state, and you're building a building like that, you're telling people, look, we believe in what we install because we're doing it for us. Water-saving plumbing fixtures and rainwater harvesting systems are becoming standard in many states except Colorado, because for some reason, Colorado thinks they own the rain.
I wonder if that'll be changing before long as this.
I want to check and see. Maybe it already has.
It could have.
It already has.
That just kind of piqued in my brain and went, I wonder, now that rainwater harvesting is becoming a more popular thing, hopefully they've made some adjustments there.
All right. Matt McDonough says, hey, we could go live at breakfast.
Maybe.
you never know how the conversation is going to go then. David Broward says, huge need for New Mexico's smaller utility H2O water systems. And guys, look, there's going to be a big demand for things like that. It's coming more and more popular. Anytime that you talk about rainwater harvesting, I started talking about it, God, back when was I an instructor? 20 years ago.
In a while.
Yeah, 20 years ago, I'm talking about rainwater harvesting, and it is becoming more and more popular. And I need to reach out. I've got some guys that I could reach out to, and we could do some cool stuff out here. LED lighting, solar power integration, and smart thermostats reduce energy consumption and increase efficiency.
Listen to this example.
Let me hear it.
California now requires new buildings to be solar ready, increasing demand for solar integrated electrical systems. That's pretty cool.
Solar ready.
Yep, solar ready.
My house is solar ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready for solar.
Good. I bet you are.
It's probably not the way California means it.
Probably not. I think they mean it's ready to be tied into and add solar on. It's already prepped. The houses or buildings.
So they're pre-wiring them, I guess.
That's what I'm thinking.
Man, this is cool stuff.
Like
Texas, let's step up.
we're headed that way.
Just saying, let's get there.
Yep.
Governor Abbott, let's make it happen, baby. All right. Where's the work? School and hospital renovation projects are increasing. Look, I worked for a company that we did school renovation projects every summer.
I've done many. I like going through that crunch time, getting a school ready.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when it's a large renovation.
You normally got about 2.5 months to do an entire project.
That's it. Yes. I got sent out of town before. We had 4 schools going on. And they're like, look, guys, we got 6 weeks. can y'all go out there and help bail them out? Because I don't think they're going to finish.
Mm.
So we sent a serious Dallas crew out there. We got 4 schools open on time that year.
I got a mustache somehow.
I like school renovations. I like hospital renovations too.
Mhm.
Like, it's nice going in to a wore down hospital and bringing it back to life to keep life going for a lot of people.
You know, sometimes that's got to be done.
That's it.
So I like this. So it says aging infrastructure in schools and hospitals leading to major renovation projects nationwide. Okay, so we know it's happening everywhere. HVAC, plumbing, and electrical upgrades are in high demand due to new health and efficiency standards. Guys, when you go in and do a remodel, you bring everything up to current code. You make things safer. You make them more energy efficient. You're installing hopefully the latest and greatest to help the schools cost less to run, and stuff like that. Just it's something everybody's looking at. Government funding is fueling billions in renovations, creating opportunities for skilled trades. You know, I like the deal. You know, Lori jumped in the other day and made the comment about in Boise, I think, the trades, and I don't know if it's the trades that bought it, who bought it, but somebody bought this hotel and the
Oh,
trades
yes.
renovate it.
That was yesterday. Yeah.
And it was literally for tradespeople that are traveling
Coming to town.
to come to town to work. Because they're making it easy for people to get tradespeople there. Can you imagine with as much work in Dallas if the union, I'm going to say, because the union
Yeah.
could do it, bought a big hotel, renovated it
Yep.
with union help, which is what they would do, and then said, hey, this is for plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs traveling in from around the country.
Yep.
And you give them a reduced rate. And it's like,
Discounted
look,
rate.
yeah, you stay here. It costs us, you know, $100 a day to operate the hotel, or $100 per room per day to operate the hotel. So it's $150. You know, and you're still cheaper than everything but Motel 3.5.
Yeah.
I
Big.
love that idea. I really do. Chicago Public Schools recently allocated $600 million just for HVAC.
Yep.
Can you imagine in Chicago if just 6 companies got that? It's $100 million worth of work for 6 different companies.
Yep.
That's a game changer for a lot of companies.
It is. That definitely puts dinner on the table. Becoming a part of this, find out some GCs that specialize in these remodels and things like that. Become good friends with them. Find out what's coming next, what you can do. Try to get in there, because $600 million just in Chicago,
And
just in the area.
register as a government contractor.
Yes.
If you're a minority, if you're a woman-owned business, if you're a hub business, start looking at that. Because if you can get registered as a government contractor, these bigger companies will come in and say, look, we're going to help you bid this.
Yep.
You're going to get 10% of the work. Well, at a $100 million job,
Right.
you're going to get $10 million.
That's it.
How many companies would $10 million project just be like, that's a game changer?
Right.
And that's an easy way to do it, guys. It really is.
Yes. And then they can help also the bigger companies. Like, I've seen that where we were the big company and we had a smaller one. We ended up prefabbing a lot of the pipe for them too, for them to do the installs and everything. It was just, they subbed that part of the work out to us.
There's a way to
Back.
carve it out.
It was,
Absolutely.
it was interesting. I was
And-
like,
and guys, I've
wow,
seen it.
I haven't seen that before. And it's like, wait, we built all these? Okay. But somebody else installed, and they're like, no, yeah. They hired us to build the prefabrications for them and just send them out on a trailer. And it's like, ooh, no, I like that.
There's ways around every corner.
Mhm.
There's ways over every bump in the road. I'm
That's it.
I'm just telling you. All right, instructor training. And I like this. Okay, trade school
Yep.
versus on-the-job training. Or the balance between.
Yes. Has to be the balance in my eyes.
Okay.
But at the same time, I do understand some trades. It's more field training for your more less skilled trades, I would say.
Mhm.
Skilled trades, you're going to have to sit in the classroom and do some learning, like just straight learning. Concrete work, I feel like would be a little more in the field. Bricklayers, more in the field, less in a classroom learning things for your trade. So I think hybrid's a big fit for a lot, but not necessarily every. What are your thoughts?
No, I love the hybrid. I love the classroom education. If you can make people slow down and think, and guys, when I say classroom education, it's not just in a classroom.
Yeah, it can be a shop.
There's shops. There's training rooms. There's weld booths. There's a training there that literally you get your hands on. You touch it. I remember first time I did the MedGas course. We literally went downstairs and brazed. Then we put everything in a jig, took a skill saw and cut it apart so we could hammer it out to see if our solder penetrated.
Yep.
And it was really funny because, and I know y'all love to bust my balls over brazing. Y'all do. I get it. But I don't have leaks. And I remember getting into the union. I had done sprinkler system work for a long time. At one point, I was doing 300 braze joints a day. Okay, it's you stay busy, and the cool thing about it is when I went in for that MedGas training, out of 12 people in the class, I was the only one who passed the braze the first day.
Yep.
And Bubba Fane, asked me. He said, the next morning when I came in, he said, "Look, will you show people how you braze because you did something different?" And I said, I did. I said, Bubby, you keep the heat out on the pipe more than I do. And I kind of feather it in. I'm literally trying to use that flame to grab the solder and move it in.
Yep.
And he's like, will you show us how you do it? I said, yeah. So I did it. And of course, he's like, look, if you're nervous or something, you don't have to just like, dude, you know how many these braze joints I've done? And I did that. And he's looking at it and he said, you do it different. So, and he had the entire class watch.
Yep.
We had company owners in there. The Trevinos were in there, dad and son.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people in there. I mean, a dozen people, I think, total, 11 or 12. That evening, everybody passed the braze, and I didn't have to do it again.
Yep.
So it was like, okay, that was pretty cool.
Bubba Fane's the one that tested me whenever I got on a large braze job, and it was RFAB 2, the second TI. All I was doing was brazing coils.
You bet. No, and I mean, it's a good deal. Anthony Gibney says, dude, make me feel old. I didn't have to make you. We are.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Y'all are younger than me, brother. I know
Years are
that.
adding up quick, brother.
Lori says the Treasure Valley is so innovative and proactive to support business. It's so impressive. I love that. Innovative and proactive. Great words to use. I love how they're paving the way and setting such an amazing example for entrepreneurs and business. Yes, indeed. Matt says, when I was an apprentice, it was one day in class, one day in shop. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Then on the job training while you were working, of Bubba. Yeah. Oh, Bubba.
Oh, Bubba.
And Lori says, when you pay attention to what is going on in your industry, it allows you to stay ahead and be or become the expert.
Yeah.
And guys, you need to become the expert in your industry at something. So instructor training, look, I love it. I love the trade schools. I think that I prefer something like PHCC or the union, because then you have a 40 hours a week job during the day.
You can earn while you learn.
You bet. You can have a full-time job. And then you go to school a couple of nights. What is it? 3.5 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that.
I think it was like 3.5.
Yeah.
5 to 8:30. Yeah. With a
30-minute break.
quick. No, it wasn't even 30 minutes. 15. I think.
Okay.
We didn't have time to go eat, really.
Yeah, you better bring something.
You had to be quick. You get to the gas station and back. That's about it.
Yeah, and it was walking distance,
Yeah,
just
that's
right
right.
out the front door. So, yeah. PHCC Academy offers blended learning where apprentices split time between classwork and paid job site experience. Now, and we've talked to a lot of people in here that, and I think it's maybe Chicago that does it, where it's like you go to school 4 days, or you work 4 days a week, then you go to school 1 day a week.
Yep. Some of those.
There's some that they work 3 weeks and go to school 1 week.
a week. Yep.
So there's different ways, different unions around the country, and maybe even PHCC has different things set up like that. But man, look, if you're in an area and you want to learn, reach out, find somebody doing training and say, look, I want to see how I get involved with y'all.
Yeah, I was gonna say like PHCC for plumbers, at least I was looking at earlier. They've got just an online training that you've got a year to complete, and you can learn while you're doing your other thing, whatever you've got going right now, and start learning some of those basics, so that whenever you do hit the trade, you've already got some knowledge behind you.
You're
and
ready to roll.
It'll make you a quick earner.
All right, specialty. The rise of off-grid plumbing and electrical systems. Now, guys, look, I want to build a completely off-the-grid house.
Yep.
I want to do water. I want to do rainwater harvesting. I want to do water. I want to do a well. I want to do rainwater harvesting. I want to do gray water reclamation. I want to treat it. I want solar. I want a battery wall. That way I've got all the power I need. I may have to connect it to the grid just because I want to sell it back to them for as much as I can.
That's it. And that's why I brought this thing up, because what if you were the specialty GC that provided all of that for customers?
I like that.
Become a true specialty business for
off the grid contractors.
Off-grid plumbing, electrical.
I need to get that
buildings,
name real quick.
period.
Don't none of y'all get that name real quick.
I think it's a great move,
No,
because
I like that.
off-grid living is becoming more and more popular. You've got off-grid communities where strangers are meeting up and building their own community and turning into their own family, taking care of each other and the property and the land and living off of it. And I just think it's a pretty awesome way to go back to where we all kind of came from. I know you couldn't live off-grid for long.
I think they call that a cult. I think David from Garland.
Well, I understand.
Tried that down in Waco.
But I think they're doing it the right way now.
Oh.
Is the difference.
Oh, okay.
That's why we're not calling them cults. We're calling them communities.
Oh. Well, somebody
Off-grid.
messed up and let us call this a compound.
I know.
I'm just going to throw that out there. No, I love the off-the-grid ideas. And look, I know people that are big into rainwater harvesting. I'm licensed to do it. I'm not big into it. I've studied it enough to know that I can talk about it very intelligently. I've been involved with a couple of projects that have used it, but I'm not going to tell you I'm the rainwater harvesting expert.
That's it.
I'm not. I don't.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie to anybody.
That's not your specialty.
Yeah, it's not my specialty, guys. I don't ask me to design your system for you. I'll be like, oh, okay, maybe. I'm going to have to do a whole lot of work and relearn a lot of things. But there are people out there that are freaking amazing at it. So they're becoming more popular because people are seeking energy independence and sustainability. Solar-powered water heaters. I like that idea.
Yep.
I used to, when one of my first companies, I installed solar-powered water heaters.
Yeah?
Absolutely. And it was a big deal. And I thought, man, this is going to be magic. This is going to take off. And when they quit paying me, I quit installing them.
I had the idea of solar-powered Christmas lights a long time ago, and then I was like, hey, Google, and it's like, oh, they already built it. Okay.
Solar-powered water heaters, composting toilets, and rainwater collection systems are in high demand. Did you hear me about the rainwater collection system, guys? I'm telling you, it's there.
And I actually saw quite a few composting toilets at the trade shows and the builder show and stuff.
We've got a composting toilet
different
down in
areas.
the building.
No, I know,
in the barn.
like,
so we
No,
just need to
we have
put
a
it-
macerating toilet
macerating. That's right.
in the barn.
That's right. You're right.
Look at me winning.
Plumbers and
today.
electricians who specialize in off-grid systems can carve out a profitable niche.
Very.
Guys, it's just, there's magic coming. Get good at it.
Yeah, like you were talking about the rainwater collection. Well, if you become that guy that, hey, this is the filtration system you need for this area if you live in this area, you can replicate that over and over, and you become the rainwater expert in that area.
Man, I love it. All right, social media spotlight. What are we talking about today? HVAC.
HVAC,
Why don't we ever talk
that
about
other
plumbing?
license you got.
I don't even.
For some reason, we save that for Fridays. But, they were trying to throw plumbing at me again for like the second time already this week. And I'm just like, dude, it is not Friday. Okay. I got a plumber in the show every day. I don't need to talk plumbing
And
every
he
day,
hates
do I?
talking plumbing. He really does. No, he doesn't.
I enjoy testing plumbing.
Oh, you know,
Okay.
no.
That's
no,
my
no,
favorite.
no. Okay. See, we were talking about not lying a while ago.
About what?
About not lying.
Yeah.
You enjoy blowing stuff up.
Well, I do. Yes. Testing the limits
The maximum.
or blowing it up. Yeah. You can look
make
at that how
stuff
you
up
want.
as you go.
I'm going to call it testing.
Hey,
That's why it's a
Pinocchio, your nose
blast
is growing.
chamber for
Pinocchio.
testing.
Pinocchio, don't look at me when you talk to me like that. I know, exactly. All right, social media. Quality HVACR, and we talk about them often. They're good.
We do. Like they put out some good stuff. And like I'm gonna try to come up with some other ways to see what all we can do with this segment, to do some different things. Cause we do cover a lot of these a lot. Quality HVACR provides top tier HVAC troubleshooting content and real world repair insights. So if you're an HVAC tech, you work on HVAC stuff, check them out. You know, they're going to give you some different tips and guides, things like that. He's out of Tennessee, is where it is.
We don't like Tennessee.
You
It's
know,
the wrong color
I mean,
orange. It's the wrong UT.
We
Y'all
like-
got it wrong.
Texas, that's the state that we prefer that starts with a T. No offense to
I know.
anybody. You know, we're just.
I'll offend them. I like Texas.
I'm a Texan. Like,
I like the real UT and the real orange. Y'all messed it up. Okay, go ahead. And I'm playing y'all. There's
so
quality HVACR.
some of the content includes like tool reviews, diagnostic techniques, and industry trends. Kind of run through different things.
I like the red toolboxes back
Pretty consistent. Like you can click videos. There's a lot. There's a couple days ago, 7 days ago. So still current and putting things out on a normal basis. Oh, there's old Gito and everybody down at the trade show.
There you go. Yeah, we run into people like this
we do.
everywhere we go, guys. I love doing what we do. So you look at the videos right here. This is one thing I always love doing. Look at the latest. What's the latest? HVAC catastrophic failure.
What do you do next?
Man, punt.
Yeah.
Don't let your job define who you are. And, you know, I hear that a lot because people tell me all the time, Roger, quit saying you're just a plumber. But it's like, guys, look, I know where I came from.
Yep.
At the end of the day, I do social media, but I'm just a plumber. I have no training in marketing, advertising, any of this. I call people for help all the time. So
I'm a plumber, pipe fitter, welder. That's the stuff I know more than anything out there.
know where you came from. And then here's his top video, number one reason why ductless units fail and how I fix it. So great information that can really help people out. And I like it too. He's got his Vito tool bag out here.
Hey, look, he's pressing refrigerant lines.
I know. We
were
you know
talking
what?
about
Talking
that
about
this
that a while
morning.
ago with an M12, baby.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I like what we get to do. I really do. So yeah, quality HVACR, small family-owned HVAC company in the middle of Tennessee, talking about what they do.
That's
You
it.
gotta love
If you're in any trade out there, guys, and you're not on socials, start spreading some of what you do. That's how these people get to 113,000 subscribers. Meet a lot
And
of
13
people.
million views.
That's it. We meet a lot of people, and a lot of them are just like, man, I just kind of started posting some videos just so that my family knew what I do
Isn't
during the
that neat?
day.
I mean, think about it, because I remember talking to, what was his name again? Brian?
Brian, Yep.
Talking to Brian. And he's like, look, I just literally started making videos and putting them up here just so my family could see what I do. Because they ask me all the time, well, what do you do every day?
what's a
Well,
plumber do?
Well, I fixed a leak.
Yep.
Okay. I can see them imagining him
A
taking
water hose
duct tape.
leaking or something.
Yeah, taking duct tape and putting it on a water hose, saying, there, I fixed it. Yeah. All right. I like that. Again, by Lori. When you pay attention to what is going on in your industry, it allows you to stay ahead and be the expert. And then Jeremy Ryan, have completely started from scratch on how I do our training for my guys. We do an hour a week paid classroom time for our guys and 1 hour of specific problem or potential situations. And Jeremy, I love that. Look, we were talking to Dennis the apprentice, and I don't remember where his plumbing company is,
I don't remember for sure.
but man, he's like, look, when I hire people, I bring them in, I give them a tour of the plant. One of the things that gets them to come to work here is the training center. They come in and see it, and they're like, look, I want to learn here. You've got it set up where I can actually be in a classroom with trainers, work and learn. And man, that's what people want.
Yes. We just want to be better. We want to learn new things. We want to add to our skill sets. Doesn't matter. I was always trying to run around the job and learn some new pipe. If like glass pipe, the first time I ever saw that on a job,
Oh yeah,
I'm drooling at the mouth like, boss, how do I get free to where I can go and like
put
learn
me
some
on
of
that crew.
I know I'm a pipe fitter and you got me fitting for a welder right now, but what can I do? Would
Yeah.
you mind? What if I got my welder busy enough that I could go spend a little time up there? Are you cool with that?
I'll
He
put
goes,
4 20-inch welds in front of him, and you let me work with them tomorrow.
I fit up 10 6-inch welds for him and had him tack them all. And I said, hey, I'll be back. I was back in 30 minutes. And he's like, that's it? I said, I just wanted to know the basics
bet.
of how it's done. I wasn't cutting it. I wasn't doing it. I wasn't installing. I wasn't trying to learn all that.
He did that the next day.
I just wanted to know how it all worked. To watch him roll the ends and stuff of this solid piece of glass pipe. So cool. Neat to learn. And then my boss was like, dude, like, you're so happy now. And it's like, I went and learned something new today. Like, yeah, no, I'm ready. Give me my grinder. Here we go. Let's get these welds done.
Anytime that we're progressing in our careers, anytime that our trade, our niche, our industry, whatever it is, anytime we can learn something and grow, it lights a whole new fire in you. And I remember building a big RO system out at Northrop Grumman.
Yeah.
And I mean, this RO system was as big as probably from here to the marketing room.
Okay.
That big.
30 feet?
Probably 30 by 30 room.
Okay.
Maybe 40 by 40. And to get to go in and learn how to do fiberglass piping.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is cool because I mean, you've got a machine, like you take this fiberglass pipe, special way to cut it, and then you put it in this machine and it bevels
The ends?
the
All right.
ends for about 4 to 6 inches.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's a thin piece of pipe, so the bevel is just, I mean, barely, but it scrapes the outside coating off, gets it all the way down to the fiberglass, and then you put this fiberglass glue and push it in the fitting and turn it and lock it and hold your tongue just right and all that. But man, learning new stuff, it's so good. And I think that's what excited me about, being in the union, learning from them, learning the different things, but then learning the things to become an instructor. Because the instructor, the way they teach instructors in the union, you go to Ypsilanti, which is just outside of Ann Arbor. So I got to be at the big house the night the lights were turned on the first time. But the cool thing about it is you go through the training that you're going to be teaching. So they send you up there and it's like, okay, Roger, today you're in advanced reading, advanced drawings and blueprint reading. And you go through the course. And Red from Houston taught it. And it was like, man, this is cool. And he teaches you how, not just does he teach the course and you go through and do the work, but he teaches you how he teaches it, how he put that together, why he uses this, why he uses that. And man, it's just, look, I love teaching. I love doing everything that we get to do. Well, like express fitting for that, we're going to be doing some of that. And then Ricky L says we offer classes in the evenings from 3:30 to 9:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and are non-union. I love that. We're a state college in Minnesota. All the students are already working and leave with many certifications and PEX cards. Gas cards, 650 hours of accreditation with the Minnesota Department of Labor and Industry while working and earning hours. We started August 25th, end May the 6th, currently working on AI technology grants. Upanor trained them yesterday. Very informative. Man, Ricky, number one, man, hats off to y'all. That is fantastic. Guys, I love what we get to do each and every day. And special thanks to Leak Pro for allowing us to do this. This video is sponsored by Leak Pro. Leak Pro is the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. If your company or you as a plumber are not doing leak detection because y'all don't know how, that's just an excuse. What I would tell you is learn how to bring more value to your customers by taking on something new like leak detection. It's great. We've got the best equipment. The complete kit comes with the Sidekick, which has an aluminum rod, the probe that has a stainless rod, 2 sets of headphones, the adapters, and the most amazing carrying case I've ever seen for leak detection equipment. And that may just be because I helped design it. But the cool thing about it is it works. I've tried multiple systems. I've tried multiple training programs. This is the one that the day I touched it, I'm like, this is a game changer. So if you're interested in the equipment, go to www.leak-pro.com. And if you really want to learn how to do it right, talk to Randy about the training. We offer training on leak location, on first of all, the line location, leak location, but then we take you over to the slab and where we've got a sewer built for cast iron and PVC training. We teach you how to isolate exactly where the leaks are. And there's a lot of plumbers that say, yeah, we can't do that. It's like, yeah, you can. Let me show you how. But once they learn that, it's amazing. We've got 11 leaks under the slab. We've got 1 outside. Learning how to get out here and walk away and use all this equipment, you walk away with confidence knowing you can find some really difficult leaks because these are not easy to find.
That's it.
And all you got to do is give Randy a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. And part of the training too is we teach you how to market your company to get found for it. With companies around the state or the United States calling us, telling us that the leak detection people in their area are 6 weeks out, guys, trust me, there's a supply and demand for it. That's telling us it's time to go. Y'all have a great day. We love what we get to do, and thank you for being here.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope to see you back here for Friday. Get out there and hit it effing hard. Bye, guys.
See ya.